nowadays we've been told that the sunlight will give us cancer, skin cancer. And you say that's absolutely not true.
No, there is no proof yet to that effect. In fact, it's the opposite. That lack of sunshine causes skin cancer. You may know that many people have skin cancers in areas that are never even exposed to the sun.
That's true.
And so it's not the sun. The UVB is now taken off the hook. It's no longer the culprit. There's a brand new study that just came out and it showed that UVB doesn't cause the cancer, it's the UVA. Now when you use sunscreens, and there are many sunscreens that just block out UVB so you don't tan, you basically you don't burn, so that you don't burn your skin. Skin burning is not a good idea in any case. You don't want to burn your skin. So typically if your body is in the sun too long, it will start burning. You would want to get out of it. Whereas if you put suntan lotion on, you don't get that signal. And you allow a lot of penetration of UVA. Now there are some of these other screens that are blocking out both UVA and UVB, and you think, oh, now I'm safe.
Right.
Yes, but you are becoming vitamin D deficient while being in the sun.
And if you are
Vitamin D deficient, your cancer risk goes right up.
Okay.
So again,
skin cancer,
any kind of cancer. So you need your vitamin D in order to be cancer-free.
So
again, 77% of all cancers can be reversed or avoided by having normal vitamin D levels, according to Creighton University's study.
Okay, so you shouldn't get sunburn. You should avoid that. But if you're not wearing sunscreen, your body will tell you if you're getting too much.
Yes, the body will, once your skin starts reddening, that's the time to go out. But after if you start increasing your sun exposure little by little, you will have a natural protection in the skin, which is called tanning.
Yes,
and
I've
then
read that.
You can stay out in the sun hours. I lived in Cyprus for 15 years. It's 330 days sunlight, very bright sunlight, very warm. I could stay out in the sun all day long and would never have any sunburn or any damage to the skin.
Because the best sunscreen is a good tan.
Yes, and again, the people in the countries where they have the highest UV radiation, that is the equator, the countries near the equator, or the high altitude, the Swiss Alpine mountains or the German Alps, you have 400% more exposure to UV radiation. They don't have any skin cancers in those places.
None.
The places that have the most are places like London in England, very little sun exposure. The northern plains, Norway, Denmark, Finland, Scotland the most, and Canada. So the least where people have low vitamin D levels, not enough sun exposure during the winter months, that's often when they have the outbreaks.
But we can actually harm our skin by using sunscreens?
Definitely. Sunscreens they're composed of sometimes dozens of chemicals, carcinogens, that are normally, if you put that in the food, let's say if a food processing company like Healthy Choice or whatever would put that in the food, they would lose their license and the owners would be imprisoned because it's extremely dangerous to put that in the food. But you're allowed to put it on the skin. Where is it going? After an hour, you put some more on it because it's gone. You absorb most of that stuff. These chemicals are highly absorbable. They enter the bloodstream, and where do they go? They go to the liver. And then the liver has to break them down. But that overtaxes the liver. You may go into that producing a lot of intrahepatic gallstones. And some of them accumulate in the tissues, in the connective tissues. And if they happen to be in the skin area, under the skin, and they saturate there, you may develop skin cancer because you took the sunscreens. So sunscreens are now a leading cause of skin cancer because people are
slathering
it on their skin and they absorb that stuff. And then the other problem that happens, they wash off. There's that stuff with soap, so they soap the whole body afterwards to get it off. And with it, they get rid of all the vitamin D that incident or accidentally may have been created on the skin. When you use soap, after sunbathing, let's say even without sunscreen, if you just make vitamin D, make sure you don't use soap to wash your skin except under the arms and in the genital area where the sun doesn't go anywhere and vitamin D is not made. You don't want to wash it off because the vitamin D stays on your skin for up to 48 hours and gradually is absorbed, and that's how you are building it in the body. So you don't want to wash it off.
Not right
with
away.
soap, not right away.
Okay.
So soap is not necessary anyway. I've not used soap except when you make your hands dirty with oil or something else. So you don't want to diminish your skin of the vital bacteria that live there, that reside there, that keep the skin healthy and nourished and produce certain vitamins actually on the skin. So the bacteria are best friends. You don't want to kill them off all the time.
Hello and welcome once again. Now I just want to kind of explain something that there's a huge misconception on, and this is the sun. The sun is good for you. Now, if you eat processed foods, you're eating fast foods, you're eating out at restaurants, then the sun can actually cause you harm. Let me explain. When you're putting all the nutrients in your body and putting them in the right sequence with the right amounts of calcium versus magnesium, phosphorus, and the whole chain, when you go out and you get the sun and it's seeping into your skin, you're getting the best vitamin D. Now, you cannot digest calcium without vitamin D. So if you're using plants, and plants, you can actually digest more calcium from plants. I know that may be hard to understand, but that's what happens. So if you're using plants, and that's a good portion of your calcium, and plants should be used for that. They're not just for other nutrients or because you need to eat a vegetable. They serve a very big purpose, but they don't have vitamin D. So when you're going out in the sun, you're getting at least 10,000 international units, and it all depends on if the sun is actually seeping into your skin. So if you're wearing a tank top, you're definitely going to get more of those sun's rays, and if you're fair skinned, it's going to take about 10 minutes. But if you have darker skin, you probably want to be out there 25-30 minutes, at least 3 times a week. I typically try to get sun as much as possible. Being in the area that I'm in when the sun is out, I want to have my shirt off and absorb that sun to really get the powerful nutrients that come from the sun's rays. You don't want to go to a tanning booth. That's not going to help you. That's going to make your problem worse. Those are actually the dangerous ones that cause cancer. When you have cancer, your body needs the sun. I know this is going to sound crazy. Well, I have cancer, right? If you have moles on your skin and you have any type of anything growing on there, and you're getting the high levels of vitamin D and all the great stuff the sun has to offer, you're going to get better. You're going to have these deformities shrink, and I call them deformities because they're not normal. Even a mole is a sign of a health issue. For anyone that's purchased the New Age Health Guide, you know what I'm talking about. For everyone else that really has no idea what I'm talking about, probably should pick up the guide. You're really going to learn a lot. You need to understand this stuff. You need to know how everything works. You need to know what the signs of your body are telling you. And you need to know how to digest the calcium properly. Because if you're not digesting calcium, this is why people are getting bone fractures, they're getting hip fractures, they're getting all sorts of issues, because you cannot just go and drink poisonous milk from the grocery store and expect to digest calcium. It doesn't work that way. So take these tips, learn from them, and I want you to be out in the sun. Especially if you have the New Age Health Guide, you know exactly what I'm talking about. After you do some of these shakes, go out and get some sun. You will see the benefits. Give it even a week, you'll start noticing benefits. I'm not asking to be out there for hours at a time, 20-30 minutes, at least 3 times a week. If you can do it daily, great. the sun is very beneficial. No sunblock. Try to wear a tank top. Try not to wear a hat. Let that sun really absorb into your body to basically do what it needs to do. Thank you.